Well, good morning and welcome to another issue Under the Surface. And today I am at Wansford Trout Fishery and I am going to be fly fishing for the trout here. You may notice that I'm using exactly the same setup as I've been using recently for the pike. My same 6-weight flight rod with a floating line, although obviously today I'm not using a huge big pike fly, I'm using something a little bit more dainty. So hope you can join us for the day and hopefully we'll get into a few fish. Well, that didn't take very long. First fish of the day, probably after about half a dozen casts in my first spot. It's probably a fish of around 1.5 pounds, it's getting on to 2 pounds. And I caught it on a damselfly nymph, little gold-headed number. So yeah, really pleased with that. Great start. Hopefully we can get into a few more fish.
Well, I'm in. Excuse the video quality because I am filming one-handed. But there we go. And another lovely trout. Caught on the same fly again, on the damsel nymph. So we'll see to this one, and we'll hopefully get back in and get a few more. Great stuff. Well, I just thought I'd take a moment just to tell you a bit more about this trout fishery. I've been here about an hour actually, and believe it or not, I've already had 4 fish and got my bag limit of 2 to keep. You can pay incrementally for what kind of ticket you want, so you can start off with a full day sporting ticket, which I believe is about £10, and it goes up sort of 1, 2 and 4 fish up to, I think it's about £18 to £20. That entitles you to the full day. But it's a beautiful fishery. It's a really unique trout lake actually, because if you look at it you'd think it was a river, and in actual fact it's got, if I just go up and you can see Dave just up there, it's got sort of the outflow there on this side, and it's got a sort of corresponding inflow on the other side. And this stretch here, what Dave's fishing on, my mate, is very resemblant of a chalk stream, believe it or not, and there's lots of fish in there, and he's having a go on the dry fly. At the minute he's just flicking it out, trying to get a rise. But most tactics for trout are working here really. Lures, nymphs, dry flies, wet flies, whatever you're into. I've caught all 4 fish on the damselfly nymph, gold-headed one. Had no end of fish follows and taps and takes and stuff, and they're all really hard fighting, sort of turbocharged, rocket propelled little rainbows. It's got some really big brownies in here as well. It's actually got some grayling in, believe it or not. But it's a really unique place, just outside Driffield in East Yorkshire. If you fancy a day out here, it's Wansford Course and Trout Fisheries, I think, if you throw that into Google. The website, have a look yourself and get yourself down. And this is what I was telling you about. You can see just about here there's a little rainbow trout just sort of mooching around. There's 1 or 2 other fish around and about in the sort of sandy channel, and it is, well, there's one there just topped. It's stuffed full of fish, and it's this is as close to sort of a chalk stream as you're likely to get, so it's a really unique fishery.
So I'm into a fish, and it's another hard fighting rainbow trout here at Wansford Fishery. This one's taking a white waggle tail. I think I've had about 16 so far. And he's ours. Great result. Another fantastic rainbow trout. Let's keep it up. Well, look at that for a lovely nice rainbow trout from Wansford Fishery. It's the biggest of the day so far for me. It's probably about 3.5, maybe touching just under 4 pounds. Cracking fish, fantastic fight. I think that's number 17 now, so we'll slip him back because it's quite lively, and we'll get a few more. Well, it's the end of the day now. We've had a fantastic time. It's about